Ryan, who's... It's kind of hard to get traction. Okay, hold on. You know, I'm here with Ryan Edynborough. Gentle, set the hook. You got him? And we're fishing a very popular lake, little lake.
Nice, nice, nice.
Okay, Ryan, are you going to check it? Go ahead. Now, these aren't monsters, but you can get these all winter long. All right.
Nice.
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing. When you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
Go, Ryan, go!
Yep, he's there.
Easy, easy. Hold the rod tip up. You're doing good. Here, I'll hold it. Take your time. This is old school, eh? Yeah. Look at that. What a whopper.
Beauty.
You know, I'm here with Ryan Edynborough, and we're fishing a very popular lake, little lake, that Ryan, I haven't fished since probably the early 70s. Now, you were here a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Bronson, and you got a bunch of fish, right? 4 or 5 fish? More than that,
We got
right?
more than that, actually, yeah.
Okay. Now, these aren't monsters, but you can get these all winter long and summer here, right? What was the average size that you were catching?
This size, maybe a couple inches bigger as well, yeah. Lots of fun, though.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's about 16 or 17 inches. If we were up at Red Pine, that would probably be an eater walleye, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you're a guide. Do you think he's about 16, 17?
I was going to say about 18, to be honest with you, but yeah, 17, 18 probably.
You caught it, so you have the right to guess on it. You know what, Ryan? They're very nicely colored. I love that yellow on the belly with those chain links. He looks like he's getting a little bit cold. I think we better put him back in the water.
Nice deep green on him, too.
Oh, yeah. The water's probably warmer than the air, right? Below the hole, I'm guessing.
Yep.
There he goes.
Right now. Perfect.
Nice wave.
You know, Italo, this is actually the third time we fished the lake this year. First time we were out, we got all of our fish by about 10:30 in the morning, and then they shut down. The other day, we caught fish fairly steady throughout the whole day. You know, most of the guys on this lake fish tip-ups, and I actually prefer to do the same, but with the drop shot rig. So the weight right on the bottom, and then 1 or 2 hooks, you know, a foot to 2 feet up off the weight, hooked with a fairly large emerald shiner. But a good buddy of mine, Bronson, actually showed me this little trick, a 1/4 ounce pink jig head. So when I'm fishing a vertical presentation, I actually prefer to hook the minnow through the back, right about there, and then that way, it's more of a natural presentation.
Sure, he's horizontal. Let's put him in the water and see what he looks like. Oh, that looks good. And with the trap stick, just move it a little bit, because that trap stick keeps the line moving. Perfect.
Move up and down in the wind, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let's let the line down. Now, how high up off the bottom did you have this one set?
I had it up 1 to 2 feet.
Okay, good.
Off bottom.
Good. This is actually a neat way to fish, you know. These strap stick are nice because you can see this piece of plastic, when the wind hits it, even now the way it's flapping, it actually moves the minnow around, whether it's on a jig head or on a drop shot rig or pickerel rig, or even a split shot with the hook below it. And then, of course, when it bites, this should be set right because we haven't adjusted the tension. If it goes down, which the last fish did, and we actually saw it because we were close by, obviously you have a fish on, and then if it pulls down more, it actually engages the actual spool of line, so it lets the line out. So it's a very neat system.
Xmark, you find fish, catch of the day.
Tony Brecknon from Canadian Sport Fishing calling. How are you, man?
Good, Tony. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. You're laid-back cat. You got the cowboy hat on, but I need a gunned-up story. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm ready to go. We were out of Stony Lake, early evening fishing, me and my buddy. We came across the rocky shoal, about 4 feet of water. Dropped it in there, let it sink down to the bottom, and this sucker just hit it. He was just shy of about 3 pounds. We've been known to get ones up to 5 in that area, though. My buddy Corey snapped this awesome picture. We released the fish. We were pretty well fed that week, so we didn't feel the need to keep it. And I uploaded it to the app just to let everyone know the kind of great fishing that's up there in the Kawarthas.
And what a stud you are. Look at that fish.
You know, nowadays there's so many lightweight augers, and this is the Vortex by Rapala. It's one of my favorite. It doesn't have as much power as some of the larger augers, but when the ice is less than 2 feet thick, it's a charm to use. So all you do is, before you try to start it, see there's a primer ball right there. Just push on that and make sure that it's full. So you can see that it's full now. There's only a little bit of air, but no problem starting it. Next, you have to make sure that this valve is open. So you turn it just a little bit to make sure there's air there so you don't have a vacuum. Then you have to make sure that it's in the run position. You can see that you can have it down so the choke is on, but normally you don't need that unless it's really, really cold. You have it in the run position. And then the last thing is, here's the actual switch. So we're going to put it to the on position. And now you've got a good hold of the auger. Don't touch the throttle. Hold on to it and give it one smooth jerk. Once it's running, let it warm up a little bit. You'll notice that the blades are not rotating. And when you have the right spot, place it down, hold it with 2 hands, and then you can go ahead and hit the throttle and cut your hole. Oh,
Still
pulling
there,
out
eh?
line. I'm watching. I just wanted him to take it a little bit longer. You know, when you're fishing with a tip-up, especially, oh, he's on there. For pike, you want to make sure, got him,
Perfect.
that they've taken the minnow. On these 2 rigs, we've actually got a pickerel rig with treble hooks. So there, perfect. Now, you know, these aren't monster pike, but the nice thing that this little lake has so many pike in it that you can get in the summertime and in the wintertime. It's so easy to get to. We can actually hear the highway. That's the 400 in the background. This one's a little bit smaller than yours, but they're so pretty and so plentiful. Okay, I'm just going to get him in the water, and I'm going to take the hook out. Okay, quick look at this monster. Cute little northern pike, and I'm going to get him back in the water. You know, he's got the potential of growing maybe up to 10 pounds in this lake. We understand that some of the fish that are caught here are up to about 8 pounds that we know of. So he's going to be ready to go. I'm going to launch him head first. Nice little northern to get in a reservoir, and there he goes.
Perfect.
This is probably the more traditional setup. What I've got here is a classic pickerel rig. I'm going to try to just hang it so that you can see it. I have a 1/4 ounce bell sinker. Up about a foot or so from the line, you can see that there is a metal arm, and on that there is a snelled hook, and on this rig we've got 2 treble hooks. And then about another foot up roughly, we've got another metal arm with one of our shiners. Now we're probably going to have to change the shiner on this rig, both of them, because this guy's been sitting out on the ice. Now the one thing I wanted to mention though is the line that I've got on here. You can use almost any fishing line when you're ice fishing. A lot of people will use monofilament lines. Do you have a preference as to the line that you use, Ryan?
For monofilament or fluorocarbon.
Okay,
Yeah.
because for tip-ups, you probably are aware that Cortland actually makes a tip-up line.
That stuff is great.
You've used it before?
I even use it for the lake trout and the whitefish on Simcoe, for example.
Good.
Really easy to handle with your hands. Doesn't freeze as much in the hole.
The key, and today isn't a cold day, but if you're fishing on a really cold day, how cold was it when you were out here the other weekend?
Ooh, minus 25.
So things would freeze up real quick.
Very
You're holding
fast.
everything. So this line is actually designed for tip-ups, because when you're using tip-ups, your line just sits there and it can freeze. Ice can form on top of the hole. But this particular line has a PVC plastic. So you can see it looks black. And the one that's in my left hand, it's a little bit thicker. It almost looks like fly line, but it's still very supple, even in the cold temperatures. So if you like to fish with tip-ups or set lines, you should be looking for this Cortland tip-up line. And what we do is run this as the main line, but then when you get down, just like I had here, we're running a fluorocarbon or a monofilament leader, like for the last maybe 2 or 3 feet.
Fisher girl! Catch a passion!
So if you're looking to get a child their first fishing rod, Fisher Girl's Minnow is a great choice. As you can see, it says right on the tag that it's meant for junior. It's great because it has the push button reel, so that means the line is inside.
Yeah.
And it's less likely to get tangled, which is great. So they'll just push down, and when they release, the line will also release.
The other thing that I like is it's a one-piece outfit, so the rod and the reel is molded together, which is nice. And you know, when young children are starting to fish, and I'm talking as young as 2 years old, so this would be ideal for a 2 to 5 year old, they're not going to be doing a lot of casting. So they'll probably be standing on a dock, wearing their life vest, and they'll just push the button and release the line, probably a bobber, and fish below. But when they get older, a little older, and they want to cast, it's ideal because they can cast and they can even land a larger fish. This little dial that's up here is the actual drag, so you can set the drag on it. So I know of a lot of children that have caught 1 and 2 pound fish using one of these starter outfits.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Naden Boats, Canada's finest aluminum boats.
If you enjoy ice fishing, especially for larger fish like pike, lake trout, and large walleye, and you're only using a spinning outfit, or you like to jig and you're only using a stick to jig, I would really encourage you to try a bait casting outfit that's been designed for ice fishing. What I'm holding up is the R-Type ice fishing bait caster that's come out from Rapala. You can see that it's very simple. So it's got a very nice metal body. It has a double handle, so it's very easy to reel in. It has a line release that you push in to release the line, turn the handle to release it, a large star drag, and also a tension knob for the spool tension to determine how fast the line is going to come off your spool. It comes preloaded with the Suffix monofilament ice fishing line, but you can also fill it with the Suffix ice braid, which also works really well. So the advantages to this is a lot of times when you're ice fishing, you'll put your rod down, especially if you're jigging. And if it's cold weather or you've gotten it wet, your reel can freeze, especially springs and moving parts on a spinning reel. With a bait caster, that won't happen. It's much sturdier. Sometimes when I get excited and I've got a big fish on and I'm trying to land it, I'll even drop my rod and reel on the ice. And with a spinning reel, you could actually damage it. But the bait caster is tough enough that it's going to be fine. So if you like to ice fish for bigger fish, you might want to check this out. Bronson, you're doing this like a pro. You've probably fished here a lot more than Ryan or I have.
Yeah.
Now, how far do you live from Little Lake?
I live about eight minutes away.
That's handy. And you fish it in the summertime as well as the winter?
Yeah.
So what's the best action that you've had? How many fish have you had on out here ice fishing?
One time, I believe it was with my dad. We had probably, I think we caught 13 in a day between the two of us.
And size, what was the biggest? Did you get any over 20 inches?
The biggest is probably at 20 to 21 inches.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great fishery, eh? Oh, trying to get this guy. Oh, come on. Come on out. Oh, I can't believe you got it on the pink jig head. Have you used those before?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Actually, one of the first fish we caught earlier was on a pink jig head because he suggested it to Ryan. So when you brought Ryan out here, were you playing guide? You probably had to show him where the fish were, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to just bring it over to, you know what? That's a nice pike to get in a reservoir. Are you going to be okay holding it?
Oh,
Watch
yeah.
the teeth.
Yep.
Have you ever been cut by their teeth?
Oh, yeah, almost right now.
You got to be careful. Just underneath the gill plate. So
Right
carefully. No. Just, you don't want to be in the gill
Yeah.
rakers. Just
There we
underneath the
go.
gill plate. There. See if you can hold it up so that you can even let it hang if you want. You're going to say hi to your mother or your 19-year-old brother. Say, look what I'm doing. I'm not in school.
What I'm doing, Jord.
That's right. Catching nice fish. And you know what? He's got something in his belly. It's nice and
Yeah.
plump. Bronson, how long do you think that fish is?
I'd say about 20 inches.
You're being modest. I think it's longer than that. And it's got a nice belly. You know what? Why don't we put it back in? We don't want it to get frostbite.
Oh,
So here, I'll
okay.
move your rod holder and rod. And I like to see them do the wave. So see if he goes off on his own. Come on.
Oh,
Beautiful.
there he goes.
He went. Well done, Bronson. High five. You better put your hands in your pockets. I'm going to
Yeah.
put my gloves on. Now, Bronson, you're not that old. How old are you?
I'm 14.
For 14, it sounds like you've done a lot of fishing.
Oh yeah.
Now, is this the only place that you fish in the wintertime?
No, I fish Simcoe quite a bit, and Little Lake usually at the starting of the season.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, does the fishing remain good? You just go on Simcoe because it's different fish, you know,
Yeah.
perch and whitefish?
Yeah.
Have you ever come back here, like later, like even in March?
Yeah, we've done that before. Like when like sort of like when Simcoe their bite turns off, we'll come out here and get a few pike.
You know what you should do? You should organize a kids derby out here, a nice fishing one for pike.
That'd be
Because
sweet.
this is perfect for families.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so close to town. There's restaurants and coffee shops close
Yeah.
by. Really easy access. We took the machine out, but really you can walk out. We're only, you know, I don't know, maybe a half a kilometer out on the lake.
Oh yeah.
If you're a conservation-minded angler, you know that you have to be extremely careful whenever you refuel on the water. It doesn't matter whether you have a large boat like the River Hawk that I use and you have a built-in gas tank, or a small portable engine and you have one of these portable gas tanks. If you are refueling on a dock or in a boat, always make sure to have a large funnel with you so that when you are pouring fuel in, none of it goes into the water. If some happens to go into the water, make sure that you have some of these fuel-absorbent pads and tissues with you, because these aren't designed to absorb water. So if you do get some fuel in the water, you drop these in and you actually use them to absorb all the fuels, and then you discard them properly in the waste.
Nice.
Okay, Ryan, are you going to check it? Go ahead. I think he's still on there. I can see the tension.
Yep.
Is he on?
Yep, I feel him.
I like the way you're nice and gentle.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, easy does it. You can't keep the rod tip up. Nice. Pike.
He cooperated there, eh?
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Big open mouth. Okay, bring him right up. We don't want him to fall off. That's a nice sized pike. You know, this is fun. These aren't monsters. I mean, you're a guide up at Red Pine. You get lots of pike, you know, smallmouth bass, walleye.
Right.
But the nice thing is that anybody can come down here.
Well, it's so close to home. And you know what? There's lots of places like this in southern Ontario. Bellwood Lake, Conestoga Lake, Shades Mills, Puss Lynch, Binbrook. I can go on and on.
And I have a feeling you fished all of them.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, we're going to get him back in the water.
Alrighty.
I love the green colors. There's got to be a lot of vegetation down there.
This is a weedy lake, yeah.
Beautiful.
That is pretty.
Now, have you caught anything else here? Any other species of fish?
You know what? Ice fishing every now and then you'll get the odd largemouth.
Nice release, Ryan. Now, one thing that I do to set the depth properly after we get a fish on, I don't put the minnow on right away. So what I'm doing here is just making sure the line's not tangled. And I'm going to drop down the split shot. Now, the reason I do this without any bait, it's much easier to tell exactly where the bottom is. Thank you, Ryan. Without having the bait on there. Just going to pull a little bit of line out. I want to make sure those weights are on bottom. So you can see right now the line is slack. It's not pulling. So now what I'm going to do is pull up until I feel the weight and see the weight snapping. I'm going to go down. So there's bottom right there. Okay, I'm going to lift it up so that the split shot are about a foot off the bottom. How long is that leader? About a foot, foot and a half?
Yes, about 16 inches, yeah.
Okay, because what we want to do is make sure that the fish is off the bottom. So I'm just going to loosen this off. It's a very simple rig to use. And I'm going to reel in the line a little bit more. So right now it's that much off bottom. So we're going to go about that much right there. I'm going to tighten the spool down a bit so the fish can still pull it. I'm going to tighten this down so it's set just right. And Ryan, you can go ahead and set it. Ryan, who's...
I
It's
think
kind
you're
of
gonna
hard
beat
to
me.
get traction. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is like, you know, I haven't curled. Is he still on here?
The line's really going off to the side, eh?
Okay, he's on there. I haven't curled, but I think that sliding is part of the curl thing. You know what? This line is really nice. I just pulled him up about a couple of feet and he went back down. You know, we're actually fishing in about, I'm guessing, maybe 15, 16 feet, Ryan?
Yeah.
So we're just going slow because we don't know how well these fish are hooked. A lot of times when you get them up close to the hole, just like a walleye, they'll run back down. Oh, that's interesting. That's the actual mechanism. Oh, nice little pike. Oh, he jumped right onto the ice. I like that. Yet, lots of energy. Okay, I like the way you're blocking. You be the goalie, okay, so he doesn't go back
Sounds
down
good.
the hole. We're going to see if I can get my hand just underneath the gill plate. I don't know how deep he's hooked. You know what? He's hooked nicely. He just has that treble hook. Don't thrash. I got my hand in there. Perfect. Oh, sharp teeth. But I got them out. Not a big pike, but they still have sharp teeth.
He's healthy though, eh?
Beautiful.
They're
I mean, look
definitely not
at the
skinny.
colors. I mean, that's almost like a cliche over the years. But when you consider we're like 45 minutes from Toronto,
At the most, yeah.
I mean, you can drive up, just walk out, and get these gorgeous fish all day long. I'm excited for kids and families. That it's a great place to teach them live release.
perfect spot. And you know what? Not even a far walk either.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
great for the kids.
Okay. You know what, Ryan? Look at that treble hook is just on the side. I'm going to try to reverse it. Oh, you know what? That wasn't too bad at all. There it goes again on that. There. Okay, I'm going to get him back in. See if he just sits there. Ooh, that water's nice and refreshing. Okay. Can you smell freedom? Just going to let him gently down. See if he just swims out of my hand. I love that.
Perfect.
Now, what we've done on this particular pickerel rig, we have two treble hooks set up. And there's two schools of thought. Some people think that it's better to go with a bigger single hook, some people with a smaller treble hook. So this is no ordinary treble hook. If you take a close look at it, you'll notice that the hook is actually further out from the shaft and that all three of them are pointing in. So these are called wide bend.
And you know what? I've actually used those too for replacement hooks on Rapellas when you get one damaged. And you know what? 2 weeks ago when I was out here, we were experimenting some single hooks, some treble hooks like that. And I noticed a couple fish we lost on the single hook, so I put on a stinger about 2 inches back on the minnow with the treble hook, and it worked. We ended up catching a few more fish later on in the afternoon.
They've worked well for us, that's for sure.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
You know, if you're fishing with a whole bunch of guys, or you like to social fish, this thing is big. It's actually, they call it a 6-man, but you could probably fish with more than 6 men. I'm just gonna go inside here, because it's nice to be out of the wind. So even without a heater, as soon as you get outside of the wind, like we probably have about a 20-mile-an-hour wind or 25. But if you have a hut like this to cut out the wind, you're gonna have a lot more fun. You're gonna be able to concentrate on your fishing, and actually there's enough room here that you can set this up as like a main lodge out on the ice.